My next guest is part of this historic UFC 300 card, which is right around the corner here, April 13th in Las Vegas. Doesn't get much bigger than this. It is Sodiq Yusuff joining me here on the program. Sodiq, how are you?
I can't complain, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. Just tell me your reaction when you found out you'd be a part of this card fighting Diego Lopes.
It wasn't anything different, to be honest. Is I wasn't very familiar with Diego outside of his fight with Mosbar. It's rare for me to ever say no whenever they give me opportunity. I was more excited about the 300, because I know they try to stack that with everybody that they like. So I was happy about that.
Was this the right amount of time off in between fights, or were you hoping to fight a little bit sooner than this?
Yeah, no, this is all right, man. You know how my career has been. It's been injury after injury. So I've had times where I had to sit out for about a whole year. So this isn't anything bad at all.
I know the last fight didn't go your way, but you fought a tough veteran in Edson Barbosa. What did you take away the most from that performance?
Just to be honest, I took away a lot of confidence in that fight too. It was one of those things where we had a mostly stand-up battle through the whole fight. I had a few technical things that I walked away with, and a few. It'll sound funny, but even though I lost the actual fight, I took a lot of wins away from it too.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, again, you're fighting a guy who's been in there with some of the best in the world, right? So you can fighting a veteran, you can always learn something there. Let's talk about Diego Lopes though. 23-6 record, got some great jiu-jitsu. How are you looking at this fight from a style perspective? How do you feel like you match up against him?
I like it, man. A lot of people don't know I do jiu-jitsu more than I do everything else, and I've been trying to get a grappler. I've been trying to get a grappler since I got into UFC. Most of my call-outs has been all grapplers just because of my style. They're always putting me against strikers just because it's going to be exciting. But it's one of those things where I wanted a change in camp. I wanted a change in natural matchup, so I'm happy I finally got a grappler.
Yeah, and it's an interesting fight. Have you looked at the betting odds? I just noticed on there right now, you're actually the underdog. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's very, very surprising. I couldn't believe it.
Training camp, what's that looking like? Who have been some of the main guys helping you get ready for this one as far as training partners?
It's same. I have a whole lot of jiu-jitsu help, Malachi Edmonds, everybody that I train with on the mat, Elijah Dorsey, like all the. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, there's no there's no limitation on help. Everybody knows I come from one of the best jiu-jitsu gyms in the country, and with my striking partners, it's still Mike Carlson and Keeman. So it's one of those things where I'm just the things that I've been working on the past two camps starting to get more and more dialed in. I've been putting a lot of time with Dorian Price. So me and him are starting to gel a lot. Like we was gelling really well towards the end of camp last time, but that was our first camp together. Now everything is starting to like fire systematically.
Yeah. And do you take, we're talking about the style matchup. You got to like the fact you've never been submitted in your career, and that's typically how he wins a lot of his fights.
Yeah. I don't even think I've been really held down. I've given up takedowns, but it's usually just takedown, pop right back up. So I haven't spent a lot of time on the ground at all in my entire MMA career.
What do you think, as well as experience? I mean, he has more fights than you, but I would argue that you fought better opposition. If you look at some of the names you fought Barbosa and Arnold Allen. You've been in there with Andre Fili. You've been with a lot of ranked guys. Yeah. How much will that pay dividends in this matchup, do you think?
Yeah, I think the like you said, the actual fight number doesn't really matter. It's more about the places. If I'm fighting a bunch of 0-3 or like 2-5 guys, the UFC is a different stage for sure.
You're the weight cut. I know you always make weight, but how's all that going ahead of the fight? We just had Easter the other day.
Man, I'm hungry as hell right now. You can't tell by my voice.
You're fooling me then. You should play some poker.
I just finished working out, so I was like, I felt so bad that I had to like put you off the last time, but I was just so tired. I was like, no matter what, I'm gonna show up today. But it is what it is. This part is never fun, but is also part of what it's just part of it. I always think about what the heck these heavyweights feel like when they fight. They just show up and fight and go home.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that must be the life right there. Yeah. But it helps with the crazy. It helps with the anxiousness of the fight. So it is what it is.
Well, that's another reason why I try and get you fighters a couple weeks out from the fight, because that's exactly it.
Yeah,
You're kind of ready.
man.
You notice I've
I
always
think,
done that with you. Always. I always get you. I never get you fight week. Never.
yeah, to be honest, it's like a paradox. It's like when you're about to fight is when everybody wants the most of your attention, but it's when you have the least attention to give, But that's the only time where people are gonna want to talk to you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not me. Like I said, I do it in advance. But your corner, what will that look like? Who's going to be in the cage with you?
Same thing. Lloyd Irvin, Dorian Price, and Gary Lineberger. Me and Gary's been in a few of my I can't think of how many fights we've had together, but it's funny. We actually both wrestled around the same time in Maryland, and we just reconnected years after. Like when I was in the UFC, he was like, "Yo, man, he graduated college," and he's one of those guys where training with him, it makes grappling fun. Sometimes I've been doing this for so long. Sometimes things get tedious. But as long as I'm with him, it always seems like fun and fresh and new.
How's this fight playing out? How do you see it going down at UFC 300? What's your prediction?
My prediction is always going to be a win for me. And the way I fight, man, it's going to take a lot for me to be in a boring fight, Yeah. So, well, I'm definitely going to be looking for the finish. But if it's not, it's going to be another fun one.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I told you I'd get some fun questions in here. So these are going to be rapid fire. There's no wrong answers here. It's just an opinion. So just keep that in mind. But Sodiq, who is your favorite athlete outside of combat sports?
My favorite athletes outside of combat sports. So I don't have one. I'm one of those guys that only watch fighting.
Okay. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie, The Lion King.
Favorite actor or actress?
Favorite actor or actress. I don't think I have one.
Favorite TV show?
TV show? It was Game of Thrones until the end.
Favorite comedian?
I don't have one.
Favorite cheat meal?
Ice cream. Man, ice cream hands down. I could run through the list if you want me to.
No, we'll just stick to ice cream's good enough. I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask anyways. Favorite travel destination?
Favorite travel destination, Lagos.
Favorite animal?
Lion.
What's your hidden talent?
My hidden talent. I don't know if I have a hidden talent, but I really wish I could sing.
Biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve. Career advice.
Okay, especially I'm sure from fans too. Like, hey man, you should have done this in your fight.
And man, I think it's even worse when it comes from family. at least the fans is you're expecting the ignorance from them, but people that I guess it's kind of equal. But yeah, career advice.
And then I got some rapid fire questions, just MMA related. Again, whatever comes to mind first. And the only requirement is you can't say yourself because that would be easy to answer. Who's the best striker in the UFC?
Izzy.
Best grappler?
Best grappler. Hani Yaya.
Funniest fighter?
I can't say myself.
No.
Funniest fighter. Sheesh.
Like some people said, like Paulo
Merab
Costa
is actually pretty funny. Merab is pretty funny.
Yeah, we'll go with Merab. If you could have dinner with any fighter, who would it be and why?
Connor. I think he's a great mind to pick apart.
Who would you want by your side in a street fight?
The biggest guy. Oh, does Francis still count?
Yeah, we'll take Francis. Yeah. And then who has the highest fight IQ?
Highest fight IQ, Volkanovski.
What's a dream fight you'd like to see in the UFC?
The dream fight I would like to see in the UFC. Man, it would be Dana White as somebody.
Okay, fair enough. I never heard that answer, but I'll take that one. That's fine.
Yeah, to be honest, it would be somebody in the brass. Between Dana or Joe Rogan, I'd like to see one of them get in there.
Okay. And back to you. Obviously, big card, big name, like I mentioned. A win. Where does that put you in the grand scheme of things? You're a ranked guy. Like where I would imagine. Again, I talked about the hype behind him. I would think that pushes you up a bit, just because again, there's a lot of expectations for Lopez. It seems.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm one of these guys where I've kind of said yes to a lot of risky fights. Even this one is a risky fight. I fought backwards against Barbosa. Caceres, Diego now, and super backwards when I fought freaking the Don Shainis, So I think after this fight, I got to kind of put my foot down and say, hey, I need a forward progressing fight.
And obviously, we have a new champion at the top of your weight class, Ilia Topuria. Who do you think he should fight next? Because obviously, we've got this BMF title fight holding up Max. You've got Avoyev, who hasn't lost. Some people say him, but then people say, oh, his fight with Allen was close. Just as like someone who's in the division and maybe kind of looking at the rankings and stuff.
I think Mozart is the most fair fight. If Max wasn't busy, it would 100% be Max. But there's no reason for to have Mozart wait. I don't think that would be fair to him at all.
And I think the general consensus is, Volkanovski, he's been a long-time title holder. If he
what the hell? Sorry. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Volkanovski.
Well, no, but the reason, I don't think that's a bad answer.
I'm hungry and I just finished working out.
No.
But what am I talking about? Yeah, it's Volkanovski. Sorry.
But let me back that up a little bit though too, because some people feel like Volkanovski needs a lot of time off, right? He's suffered 2 knockouts in a row. Maybe it would be good for him to take some time off, have Ilia fight someone else, and then he fights the winner of that. What do you think of that idea?
Yeah, well, here's the thing though. It depends on when, because I heard Topuria say he was gonna take time off too. I don't think he's gonna be one of those guys that's fighting all the time. So I feel like the time that he needs to take off would match Volkanovski's time pretty well.
Do you think Volkanovski could beat him in the rematch if he had enough time off? Because he did. Some people were saying too that maybe he came back a bit too soon to fight Topuria.
Yeah. To be honest, I thought even if Volkanovski had won that fight, I that's what I was saying in interviews too. It was just a bad idea all around. Like no matter how tough we are, and we're MMA fighters, we try to act like concussions aren't a real thing. But like your body's your body. You need time to recover from some of these damages, So I definitely don't think he should have been in those fights after taking that loss from Islam. I think he should have taken his sweet time.
There you go. Well said. Sodiq, looking forward to this one. UFC 300 coming up here April 13th. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last one.
No, everything with me is super Sodiq, man. Oh wait, I always tell I gotta plug my newsletter, my Substack. It's always, I put it out every Wednesday. I'm trying to grow that email list. So sign up for my newsletter.